Hello and welcome to another Stay Up Late Scotland podcast. This month we are joined by Sam and Michelle. So welcome to both of you.
Hello.
Hello, thank you.
So what I was going to say, for the eagle-eyed of you, you'll notice that I am not Michael. So unlike the flyer which said that Michael was going to be hosting tonight, he's been called away. So I'm afraid you're going to have to make do with me. So looking forward to having a chat to you guys about Gig Buddies and some of the stuff you guys have been up to. So I wonder who wants to kick us off? Who wants to share something about what Gig Buddies is and how it developed?
Yeah, Michelle, shall I just kind of introduce us?
Yes.
So I'm Mags and I'm the project manager for Gig Buddies across Scotland. We're through Theatre Trust, who are a UK-wide support organisation, and we're a project within the trust. We work across West Lothian in Glasgow. Michelle's joining us tonight from over in Glasgow. And Michelle, you signed up when it started over there, right? Like 2019?
No, I'm only 2 years.
Okay, cool. I thought fair enough. But yeah, since you super involved in what we do, and yeah, Michelle, do you want to, I suppose, tell everyone?
What was that, Sam? Sorry.
Are you up for telling everyone what Gig Buddies does?
Yeah. Gig Buddies is for people with learning disabilities and autism.
And we, our aim is to enable people to live an active social life, and we get out to loads of stuff, really, don't we, Michelle?
Yeah, we do.
We're all about showing people what's in their local community, getting out to regular events, on any events ourselves from scratch. We get out to things that are already happening, linking in all sorts of venues across the country. We've been to a load of festivals that we're going to bring up some of later and have a chat through. Michelle's in a lot of them and has been to a lot of them. But we also go to the pub regularly and things like that. It's about linking people and showing people what's in their local community. And then further to that group, that community aspect, we're constantly recruiting volunteers to pair people based on mutual interest. Michelle's been in Fiona quite a while back now, I think, wasn't it? A fair time ago. You've known each other for.
Well, it was actually December.
I've just heard about you doing loads of stuff.
It was only December.
Well, 8 months is still to know someone, and just pairing people up to get out, do what they want, when they want, wherever they want, and just having a good time, really. And is itself. Sorry, go on, Alistair.
No, I was just saying, and I guess that's the whole ethos of Stay Up Late as a whole is about great social lives, about people having folk in their life, so not just paid staff support, and making stories, making memories, all that kind of stuff. And I think that's something that Gig Buddies really helps with, is that, you've always got stories, you've got pictures, you've got things to get involved with, and that's really those are the important things. Folk don't come up to you and say, "Oh, you should see my support plan. Oh, it's lovely, it's beautiful." People say, "What have I went to this great thing. I did this. I've met this great person. We're having a great laugh." All that kind of stuff. So, Sam, just tell me, how long have you been with Gig Buddies now?
Since it started up in Scotland, so in 2016 it was just Edinburgh Midlothian, and then 2017 we came over to West Lothian, and then 2019 over in Glasgow. Itself, though, Gig Buddies as an idea is really, I think it's 11 this year. Started down through our friends Paul Richards, the director down there,
Mhm.
was in a heavy load, which started up the Stay Up Late campaign. I'm sure if people are Scotland page right now, you're likely to know the story, but they were a band made of people with and without disability, and they were a punk band playing later and later gigs, and they noticed, their fans who had a learning disability and were supported along to their shows weren't thing. Support shifts were changing, so that come 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, everyone was being taken home, and that urged them to start the Stay Up Late campaign. And again, as a way just to solve that issue as much as it can, about people getting out without the restraints of Stay Up Late down in Brighton started Gig Buddies in 2012, and and Gig Buddies project in the UK. Sydney in Australia happened a year before us, but now it's all over the place. So wherever you are in the UK, it's just kind of having a search online to see if there's a Gig Buddies project close to you that you can get involved with.
Yeah, I mean, I've often been saying, if we can get one up in the northeast of Scotland, it would be much appreciated. We'll have to do another serious attempt at campaigning for that, because I think there's a big need for it. Just thinking a bit about Michelle, you were saying about you've been kind of matched up with somebody who shares your interests, and I think that's another one of the things that I really like about Gig Buddies is it's not just somebody that wants to help you get out, it's somebody who's actually interested in the same stuff as you. So what sort of stuff do you like doing, Michelle? What's your favorite hobbies and activities and music and stuff?
Hey, going to concerts, maybe go to concerts, or go to music festivals, things like that.
Up for a bit of everything.
Up for a bit of everything. Do you have a favorite singer or band or anything, or?
My band used to be Westlife at one time.
Yeah.
Classic.
But I can't afford their tickets anymore.
No, that's the thing, isn't it? Some of the prices are just through the roof. And that's an important thing, actually. It's glad you brought that up, because the price of having a good social life can be through the roof. And obviously, I think one of the things that Gig Buddies helps with as well is because usually a lot of people have got to pay their own ticket, they've got to pay their support workers' ticket. Sometimes, if your support doesn't cover, the support workers' time, sometimes people are paying the support workers' time as well as the ticket. And that can become like the price of a weekend away, all just for one night out. So it can get quite out of hand.
I'm really passionate about is, so we do a lot of work with venues and events organizers to talk about the barriers to access that people with a learning disability be facing in getting out to their shows. Pretty much 100% of venues we tour want to diversify their audience. They want to make sure that people are able to come along, but they're and for no fault of their, just not particularly aware of the systemic issues that lie within paid support. So again, making sure people understand that if there isn't like a free PA ticket for someone available, that the person being supported on and that individual wanting to go is going ticket, especially if that's formal support and it's not a mate that's coming along with. Really letting people know about the barriers people face, what that means in real terms, and how that can be stripped away and how those barriers can be removed for people.
That's really interesting. A good evening to Robert, who's joining us. Remember, Robert?
Hey, Robert.
If Robert,
Hi, Robert.
Any questions, any comments about anything we're chatting about tonight? Anybody watching, please feel free. Just Stick them on the comments and we'll put them up in the chat.
I think Robert's likely to be in some of the photos we're going to bring up, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So we could, so we're just saying a shout out to venues that make an effort, because it does make such a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think I often find that people are so receptive to what you want to say and the message that you've got. But yeah, I think as anything, the stuff that lies behind it is venues really not having the capacity or the time or the staffing to implement a lot of these things. You know, certain things we've done and we've been lucky enough to have the capacity in our team to do and have a bit of funding to do is, you know, we've made pictorial kind of like access guides for venues. We've done some little walkthrough videos. We're more than happy to do like a once over of someone's web and advise on like accessibility kind of like wording, things they might be talking about on their website, or possibly if a venue's shying away from saying that makes them seem kind of inaccessible, or it's an admission of, you know, sadly we can't accommodate whoever it might be for whatever reason, it's getting to put that stuff up on a website. And again, just making sure people are accessible as possible, and sometimes that, you know, a lot of time that just means being honest, saying what you can and can't do, and making sure that, you know, gigs not for them before they buy the ticket and not when they turn up on the door.
That's an interesting point, I guess, is that sometimes a lot of the issues happen on the night. You know, somebody turns up and then finds out that there's not a wheelchair space, or that it's too crammed, or somebody's, you know, that maybe the first aid bits, you know, encroaching on the accessible area, or whatever it is. So I think it's that opportunity to not do it in the heat of the moment when it's too late. It's catching up with venues before the event and saying, have you thought about? Because a lot of the time people, it's not that they're not open to the idea, but they just haven't thought about it. Like, you know, that the idea of, for example, with autism, overstimulation, you know, can you provide, you know, different experiences at a festival that maybe would work better, you know?
You know, if a show's likely to have, you know, even just as simple as, you know, it's going to be loud, or tonight's like our venue capacity is many people, having pictures of the venue on your website of when it is, having a video of a sold out gig so people can see what the atmosphere in that room is. It's, you know, fully packed. And then at least you're giving it over to that person, make their mind up of, yeah, this place is for me, or maybe this place isn't for me.
Oh, have we lost Sam? A little.
No.
I can see. Hello.
No, you're back. Okay, that's fine.
Back.
That's fine. We just had a little bit of connection issues there, and we've got William joining us as well, and we've had Robert saying good evening to William also. So we all like a gig, and we all like coming along to things. And I guess we some of the Stay Up Late crew from Aberdeen and Aberdeenshire, we've come down to Citizen Fest and gigs and stuff like that. But William's put up a question. We need to look at social stories. Getting the fact of thinking relax means a totally different performance. Exactly. So there can be lots of ways of understanding it. I mean, I'm talking to the Beast Race, right? Which not a music event, right? But it's like a 10K sort of muddy obstacle race. Again, it's not for everybody, right? But some folk who I know are well up for that, right? Now, but one of the things at the start, they ram you into this really small pen, and they play like "We Will Rock You" and stuff like that, and everybody's jumping about, and there's lots of and it's you know, some people that gets them pumped up, and for some people it's a living hell, you know. So one of the things we've said is, can we have an area like for anybody who might be overstimulated by that, you know, like just before that, so that you can warm up slightly less, overwhelming levels of noise, a bit more space, and then as soon as they open the gates, you can go through. So you're not changing the flow of the race or anything like that, but it's just a bit more workable for everybody. So it's always good to think about how we can.
Yeah, no, exactly. And looking at your event, and a big part of it, what we want to do as well, is just bring people who are facing those barriers into the conversation. So just a list of a couple of places we're working with that have been really great to kind of in engaging with that conversation. We're lucky enough to be working with the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and the International Festival this year, like we have done in previous years.
Yeah.
Really good friends with the team at King Tut's, Queen's Hall and Summer Hall in Edinburgh. Some wonderful places like Purple Orange and the Regal Theatre across in West Lothian in Bathgate. And the two national orchestras as well, the Royal Scottish National Orchestra and the Scottish Chamber Orchestra.
Yeah.
A whole host of really different shows all across. But and obviously lots of different things each one can tweak. A classical concert is very different to a rock festival. But we've been to both, and we've got people who prefer either one, So yeah, it's all about having those conversations and seeing what people need to change.
Definitely.
I've been to
Michelle,
both.
you're going to say something?
I've been to both.
You've been to
Chamber
both, yes.
Orchestra and the other one.
And what was your favourite, or did you like them both?
I liked it both.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was it last summer. I was at the Great Eastern, which was at Summer Hall. It was a really good festival. It was like loads of different bands across 6 different venues over the course of a day, and it was quite reasonably priced. It's a pity it didn't happen this year, but I think it's just been a lot of venues struggling after the kind of COVID and everything. And we've got some pictures to show folk. So is this showing up for you? So
this is Transmit last year, and Michelle's along today, and not even a week ago, last Friday, we were at Transmit, seeing some great bands. That photo's from last year, and a couple of these photos as well are from. That's a wonderful photo.
Oh, that's stunning, isn't it? That's like
that's
beautiful.
There's a wonderful story behind this one. I think it's a very lucky, wonderful story. So that's Doon the Rabbit Hole was a 4-day festival we went along to last year. Michelle came along.
Yeah.
And I believe this gig is Utah Saints who are playing in the background there. But this is Andy and Robert are the two kind of most well-lit people in the image. They were part of the Gig Buddies group that came along, and they ran into a professional photographer in the middle of the gig. Took a load of photos of them, and then Andy gave the photographer his email address, and then 2 weeks later, this turns up, and it's just an incredible shot. Michelle, do you want to talk about getting out to a camping music festival?
Yeah. We had to get, what was it? Well, it was like I'd never done anything like that in my past, but this time I said I'll do it, and it was good.
And that's the whole point, though, right? I think Gig Buddies is just the best opportunity to just give things a go, right?
Yeah. I just, because I'd never been to a music festival in my puff, so I decided that I'll go on, get a bash. If you like it, you like it. You don't.
Right.
And that's an important point, isn't it? Because it's quite an investment going, particularly for a whole weekend, to a festival. And if you don't like it, it's hard to tell on watching it on telly at home, but it can be. With the Scottish weather, for example.
Yep.
And it can be quite tiring. It can be quite exhausting. So I think it's good to pace yourself and to know know what you're going to. Are there areas you can have a sit down? Because standing for like 8 hours, it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Especially if it's muddy and stuff. Making sure you've
Absolutely.
got the right clothes and stuff.
So with doing the rabbit hole, we got really lucky. But I know a couple of weekends ago, Michelle, we were very lucky to be offered a couple of tickets to Kelburn Garden Party across on the West Coast. There you are, Michelle. That's you and Sophie at Transmit.
Oh, that's a nice photo.
It's a great
That's
photo.
Great photo.
I like that.
Do you want to just chat about getting caught in the rain at Kelburn then, and how that experience was?
It was muddy. Where we had to park from the motors, it was really muddy.
But just, like,
before, Molly had been, that's
yeah,
one of our other coordinators. So she said that it was, she was on mucky for the night before, and they were like, right. That's it. I turned around and said, I took my wellies with me, but I turned around and said, what's the point of putting my wellies on? I'm already mucky as it is.
So Michelle, from across one whole year, from July to July, you've been along to 3 music festivals that I can count then. So there's Doom the Rabbit Hole last year, and then this year you've already been to Kelburn Garden Party and Transmit.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your highlights from each of them, or which one stands out the most to you?
Bill, the Transmit, I loved. I really loved it because I got to see Niall Holden.
We did. Niall Horan from One Direction.
Yes.
There was a lot of screaming fans in the crowd, and
Yes.
we were some of them.
Yes. But when at Kelburn Kelburn Garden Party, we didn't really see much bands.
No,
but we heard them.
Fair enough. So was it a lot of just hanging around the site and seeing what's going on?
Yeah. Because it was all spread out. Because there's about maybe 3 or 4 different stages.
Nice.
And it was spread out all over Kelburn.
Yeah, and not as many people as Transmit.
Oh yeah, Transmit was. Oh, that was amazing.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The picture that's on screen now is
Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's doing the rabbit hole last year. This is taken at our campsite. We've got a big Gig Buddies flag over there. This is most of us, but it's not all of us. We were really lucky to have a huge crowd of Gig Buddies, members, volunteers, friends join us. This year, we're going across to Mugstock. And I think everyone in this call is going to be there. Alistair, we're really happy to have you joining us this year. It's going to be good fun. This is one of my favorite photos we've ever taken. This is like 1 o'clock in the morning at doing the rabbit hole. I think we're watching Buzzcocks. So it's maybe not 1, but it's getting close to midnight. It's around that time. And yeah, everyone's in their best festival gear. And it's just, I think that picture, I think, just sums up what we do, right?
Yeah.
It's just getting out and having a good time.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's what fun's what it's all about, and it's experiences, it's stories, it's adventures, isn't it? I mean, I remember I went to the last ever tea in the park with Dates and Mates back when I worked for Sea Change, and we had a stall and stuff like that. And Sarah, who's one of the directors of Dates and Mates in Aberdeen, she was like, she was excited to go, but also she didn't know what to expect. And she found it pretty tiring. And she was like, oh, is it okay, if we head round about 11 or something like that? And it was like, whenever somebody's had enough, we'll go, that's fine, let's not. And it's all about everybody having a good time and stuff like that, and with a lot of laughs. The bottom of my shoe came off with it caught in the mud. It was honestly
Oh,
quicksand. I was like trying to stand up, and literally the whole bottom of my shoe just went plop, completely
oh
off.
no. And the
And
mud.
but the atmosphere at tea in the park towards the end wasn't as friendly. It was a bit
Yeah.
full on. There was a lot of folk taking drugs, a lot of folk drinking too much. It didn't feel that safe, and I think that I think now Transmit's made an effort to be much better, and I think Mugstock's again and doing the rabbit hole.
Well, I think we're going to, I think, a really great festival for us to go to and also to introduce people to. It's a very small festival. It's known as a very family-friendly festival. It's a dog-friendly festival, which I think tells you a lot.
Oh,
And
you might have changed my mind.
there's a really great access hub going to be there this year, which can act as like a chill out zone for people. There's going to be a kettle there where people can just, sit down and have a cup of tea to get away from it all. A couple of us from Gig Buddies are going to be there chatting about what we do and, getting people involved if they want that. I think there's going to be some Stay Up Late Scotland info there. And yeah, just like, again, that idea of actually having its own tent that's an access hub, chill out zone. I think it goes a long way in making people feel welcome, comfortable, knowing that there's a space for them if they need that. And yeah, this is what we've just found out recently. There's going to be a Viking reenactment at this festival.
You don't often get a Viking reenactment in the middle of a festival.
We'll gather round.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it? So,
and yeah, like it's a pretty small festival. Again, I've had a few Gig Buddies members call me up and ask for a bit of clarification on stuff, because again, that idea of going to a music festival, and if you've never been before, but you've seen Glastonbury on the TV, and that's your idea of what we might be going along to, can really put you off. Huge city-sized crowds.
yes.
Where we're across in Edinburgh. I am, and the people I've been speaking to, I've just said, imagine going along to something big that's happening in the Meadows, if people know that area of town. It's not a huge event that we're going to, but it's a whole weekend. There's a lot of us camping, a lot of us this year. I think full weekenders, we're nearing around 30 people.
Wow.
So yeah, just showing people, I think that just really shows that this is something people really want to do, are really excited for. And just to have this opportunity to kind of up and go off for a full weekend to something fun. And as you're saying, Alistair, like you got caught in the mud, not a great thing in the moment, but you remember it, and you remember it as a good time. Right?
Yeah. If you dress for it, I think that's the thing. If you've got a change of clothes with you, if you've got enough stuff to keep warm, then it's all part of the experience. You can't expect in Scotland not to get wet or muddy.
No.
And some of the stuff that goes wrong is actually stuff that makes stories later on. I mean, when William and me and a bunch of the other guys from Aberdeen came down to the Stay Up Late sort of Citizen Fest thing, the first one, it was absolutely torrential rain, and there was supposed to be teas and coffees on the bus, as part of what it was, the Gold Bus, and some people had rushed to get there, and I said, "Oh, but it's okay because you'll get a coffee and a muffin on the bus." We got on the bus, and the driver says, "Oh, there's nobody. The staff hasn't turned up, so there'll no teas and coffees and stuff."
Oh.
And for some people, that could have upset folk, a bit. And I said, "Right, where's the stuff?" And he was like, "What?" And I says, "I'll do it." So I went up and down the bus with the teas and coffees, right? And I just got the stuff out, and we had a laugh about it, because it was a double-decker bus, and me carrying hot coffee up and down the stairs. It's quite interesting. So, that's just. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen now. But it's a beautiful location.
Yeah.
It was like down. It was like at Kelburn. garden party. You were up to your ankles in mud.
But you're gonna remember it, right?
Yes,
It's an
a thing I won't
experience.
forget.
There you
Then
go.
On a Sunday, we had packed up the motor. Then we just decided we'll just wander about to whatever time I want to leave. And by the time we left, the skies opened up, and we were drenched.
It's always the way. Oh,
By
no,
the
we
time
got really
to
lucky
the
at
motor,
Doon.
you could ring us
So
out.
fingers crossed for Mugstock, because if the weather so far this year down here is anything to go by, oh, fingers crossed that it's gonna get a little bit better.
I know, just absolutely incredible. We've had some brilliant weather, haven't we?
Yeah, well, we've had some really bad weather in Edinburgh this month. July has been a bit of a write-off so far, so
yeah,
here we go. But yeah, I think we set off in about 2-3 weeks.
yes.
And yeah, a lot of us. It's going to be really, really good fun.
Yeah. So I guess one of the things we need to think about is what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Just via the website, or
yeah, yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We are Gig Buddies Theatre. That's THERA across all of them. Or you can look up individually Gig Buddies in Edinburgh, West Lothian, and Glasgow, and that will get through to me, Molly, or Debbie. And yeah, like, I think the important things just to list off: Gig Buddies is absolutely free to get involved with. There's no commitment when you sign up. You know, it's just sign me up and let me know what's going on. And that's what signing up gets you. It gets you on our mailing list. You get offered any tickets we get offered. We're really lucky, as I said, to have loads of friends who are chucking us tickets constantly. Michelle knows there's always things happening to get along to.
Yeah.
And Michelle, I think you're someone who very often says yes to them, right?
Yes.
Because why not? Get out and experience and stuff. Yeah.
Like last year, I went to see Kings of Leon.
Yes.
At the Hydro. That was fantastic. That's a night I won't forget.
Fantastic. Oh no, wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. That's I was at Kings of Leon, actually. I was at Kings of Leon. That was the O2.
Ours was in the Hydro.
It was the Hydro. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, it was the Hydro. That's right. Yeah.
Also, you were there?
Yeah, we were there. I was there with my wife and my daughters.
Nice.
So yes, we'd. I mean, a bit of a funny one. I'd actually seen Kings of Leon. I think possibly I think it was their first or their second ever gig at Tea in the Park back in the day. And Wendy, my wife, she'd no recollection of the fact that she'd actually seen them, because she was saying, "Oh, I'd really love to see Kings of Leon." And I was like, "But you have seen them." But that was back when they had the youth and the young manhood, the massive beards and the that stage. And she was like, "No, I haven't." And I said, "Yes, you have." And we've got Alan saying hi as well.
Hey, Alan, thanks for joining.
And William saying, yes, we should think about Gig Buddies in the North. So I do think we should have a think about.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been having a few conversations this year with people, not quite over your way, but like the idea is, building that kind of support, and I think that's what it needs. As anything in this kind of world and sector, that we just need a bit of money to give it a push to get going, and someone to, facilitate it all and train volunteers and recruit people, and then it, forms legs of its own and goes for it. But we know that there's the community support.
Well, we've had, like for quite a while, we've had like Dates and Mates came up to the northeast, and that's been going great strengths. We'll need to get them on here for a chat as well. But yeah, so I think Gig Buddies would be another really good development, another opportunity. So at the moment, like I say, there's going to be a few of us from the northeast coming down to
Mugstock, can't wait.
Mugstock to
Yeah.
Strathallan Castle. So yes, so we've got a couple of tickets, and that'll be really helpful. If anybody else wants to go, we've got some takers. I've got a couple of other folk I'm going to ask, but again, if anybody's thinking about it, if you want to get in touch with any of us, please get in touch with us either through Stay Up Late Scotland or through Gig Buddies, and we can see if we can try and make some stuff happen.
Yeah. No, please just get in touch. And yeah, across all the social media, Gig Buddies Theatre, just drop us a message and yeah, get involved.
Brilliant. Any final messages, Michelle? You got anything you want to say to anybody out there?
Just get involved if you want to get involved.
And if you're coming to Mugstock, come along to the Accessible Hub tent and say hey.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. Yeah, you can get a selfie with us.
Yeah.
Hey.
What get up are you wearing this year? Have you got any good funky clothes looked out? Because it looks like you're going the whole hog.
Well, I was given a flag by a Gig Buddies member last year that I've still got. Real big bright flag. So I'll be taking the flag back. I wore that flag around, as a cape for a whole weekend. Michelle, have you got any ideas about things you might take? Any festival looks you might want to go for?
Maybe if things like if you want to bring along glitter.
Yeah. Oh, Michelle, to transmit, you wore the best pink wellies.
Yeah.
They were great.
Wellies are a good shout generally.
And they were bright pink and they looked brand new. Like, they were fantastic. Bring them.
They weren't brand new. They were years old.
Well, they look great.
They look good. And that's brilliant.
I took them to all festivals.
Nice.
And Michelle's, you've recently joined us on the Stay Up Late Scotland committee as well.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I just a wee final shout out is that we're always looking for our committee to be as representative as possible. So if there's any other women out there who are keen to join the board, we're a bit bloke heavy at the moment, so joining has helped. But again, we're keen to just expand people who are on the board. So if you want to get involved, it's another thing. It's not too much hassle. We just have like a meeting about once a month. We sometimes catch up with the UK Stay Up Late lot, and again, just have some ideas about stuff like this and connect with other people. So that's my pitch. Any final thoughts, Sam? Anything else you want to say?
We just had a message from Robert saying get in touch with Stay Up Late on Instagram and Facebook. There you go. It's just coming across the bottom of the screen. A wonderful ambassador. Thank you, Robert.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks so much to both of you for joining this evening. It's been a great chat, and I can't wait for Mugstock. And
we're looking forward to it. There's going to be loads of photos and videos afterwards, and I'm sure we'll do another one of these to tell people all about it.
Yeah, I think we've got to. We might even manage a live stream from the event. Whoa!
Who knows?
Who knows? All right, brilliant. Thanks again.
Thanks so much. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.